All right, welcome in everybody. Are you ready for week 4?
Oof,
We'll try
the
and
last
get you ready.
uh, how I always like to look at it, it's the last preseason week for fantasy football because then once the bye weeks start, things get a little bit more interesting. People get a little bit more desperate depending on how they drafted. It's where it starts to get interesting. So if you're
hmm
like me and you're 1 in 3 or something like that, hold on tight because you might get lucky here and so on. And we got plenty of news to talk about, that's for sure. Because
Yeah,
it was a crazy week 3.
yeah. These
So,
last 2 weeks, just generally speaking, around the board, a lot of points scored. It just it doesn't feel right. I remember
right.
last year, week 2 was crazy ass scoring. Things will get
Yep.
lower, weather will get bad, and there'll be less points. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to start off with the pimp
Yep.
versus the simp?
So this is easily starting to be one of my favorite bits that we do, just because I was even paying attention to it like crazy. And up until about
I always
halftime,
forget.
up until about halftime, it looked like you might be semi close to trouble because it was just garbage time essentially for the Miami game. Because so for those that don't know, we did Tank Dell versus Marvin Mims, right? And they were kind of neck and neck, right? They were right around the 10, 11 points. I think Tank had about like a point ahead of him for advantage wise. And then Tank just went on a roll. So you definitely won. I think Marvin he did catch up a little bit, didn't he? Let's see. I didn't
He
write
had
down
a
exactly.
kickoff return right at the end, or
Yeah,
like
but that only
last quarter, something like that.
yeah. So Tank Dell had 25-5, and then Marvin Mims was 16-6. So almost, basically 9 points. So um, you won. Right now you're 2-0.
Feeling
Here's
good.
the thing. So I'm throwing a little side little curveball into this, right?
Making it
So
harder. Okay.
I'm making it harder, but in a way I think is going to be really interesting because I'm going to be interested in your take on this. We're doing a quarterback wide receiver duo.
Okay.
So and the fun part is this duo is actually facing each other this week. So what we got is Buffalo's quarterback, Josh Allen, and wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, versus the guys that just demolished the Broncos, Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. So, if you had to choose, who you taking? The Buffalo duo or the Miami duo?
And it's what duo scores more fantasy points? I assume.
Correct.
Yeah, because we're
Yep.
talking fantasy
So,
football.
so Josh Allen's points plus Diggs' points, and then Lamar, or not Lamar, Tua's points,
Tua.
and Hill's points. So very hard because while you're thinking, I'll kind of break this down a little bit because what you're looking at is two things, right? Josh Allen is starting to get his mojo back. We started to see it a little bit, and he's running a little bit more. He's taking some more chances, and Diggs is going to cry if he doesn't get the ball 30 times a game.
hmm
But then you have probably one of the best wide receivers to ever play football, Tyreek Hill, and Tua, who definitely had his mojo this past week. I think obviously he didn't play the whole game, but Miami had like 750 yards by the end of it.
Yeah.
So which is, I mean, it was also against a trash Broncos team. Miami and Buffalo's defense, I would say, are mostly similar, right? They're both pretty good. I don't
Yeah.
know if one really outdoes the other. Maybe Buffalo's is a little bit better. But otherwise, who what are you thinking? What's your thoughts and who
I'm
you think you're gonna
gonna
take?
for this week. I'm gonna pick the Buffalo duo.
Oh,
Simply, I think Diggs and Hill this week is kind of a coin toss. I
okay.
believe in Allen a little bit more than Tua. this weekend, at least, and probably just in general because the rushing that Allen will get. So I think it'll be close, but yeah, give me the Buffalo duo.
I was gonna try to go with 2 running quarterbacks, but then I was like, Burrow isn't doing anything special, and he's not really running quarterback. I was gonna go Mahomes, but that's easy. But he doesn't really have a good wide receiver. And then if I said Kelsey, that's easy, and take that all day. And then I was like Lamar, who's only gonna run, but he doesn't really have a good thing. So I figured this is the perfect, especially since they're facing each other. It's like chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's really close. I wish it was like the Sunday night game too. It's a noon game. So
yeah, I don't know why they scheduled it like that. You would think that they would who wanted that more as a prime time game, but
100%.
It is kind of interesting though for Thursday night. We got the Lions and Packers. That should be a really good game though.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But yeah, I was thinking we go through the players, topics, buy, sell, hold. Starting off with Breece Hill. Wait, is it Hill or Hall? Breece Hall. Why was I thinking Hill? I don't know. Who cares?
You're talking about Tyreek.
Yeah, because we were talking about Tyreek. My buying or selling Breece Hall. For redraft, I would be selling him because I'm panicked for this season. Long term, dynasty speaking, if I don't think I'm going to win this year, why not try and get him for cheap?
Yeah.
If you can get rid of some old running back, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't want anything to do with the Jets the rest of this year. That's where I'm at.
The thing is, in a redraft, I'm getting rid of them almost for anything at this point. Obviously, you want something decent, but I don't know what you can really get for them. As far as Dynasty, that's where I'm kind of torn because the whole thing that I'm hearing is if they can't win, because obviously they're not going to believe in Zach Wilson, they're just going to tank. And with the 50-50 shot of who knows what Aaron Rodgers is really going to do, he's saying he's going to come back, but who knows, right? Every year it's, we'll see. If they tank, they can get, what's the 2 quarterbacks? Something Day, right? And then,
Drake May and Caleb Williams next year,
Yeah. So that's like the top thing is if they tank, they can get one of them and they can kick Zach Wilson to the curb. And then have one of them sit behind Rodgers if he does play and whatever. So then Breece Hall sounds like a really good option to have on that team.
Yeah.
So if for some miracle the Jets start winning games, I'm selling them because that means they're not getting one of those future quarterbacks. But it's a very funky situation, and he's also hurt right now. I don't know if you saw that.
We got him limited again, yeah. And that's the thing too, right? If you're someone out there that believes they're tanking, then obviously he's hardly going to play. They're going to be cautious with the knee. You know, just. I mean, we were saying it after week 1 when Rodgers went down. Everything Jets, sell, get rid of it.
Yep.
Don't want it.
100%. 100%. And, I mean, Zach Wilson's he had one series where he looked like he was a decent quarterback right when Rodgers went down. And he couldn't even go 20 yards, but he looked decent. And then he's just awful. He has Garrett Wilson screaming at him on the sideline because he can't get him the damn ball. I don't know if you saw the thing that's going around. Garrett Wilson's complaining to another player, and they have the lip readers. And he's like, he can't give me the fucking ball. So, everybody in the Jets organization is pissed right now. Rightly so. Playing with a backup quarterback for the rest of the
media
year.
bashing him doesn't help either.
No.
But the next thing I had on the list here, let's talk about CJ Stroud and Tank Dell.
CJ Stroud
So
being called the
yeah.
best rookie quarterback in a really long time.
By
It's,
me or by who?
well, by you, but I also heard a lot of the reports because I guess it's the only thing that's holding him back is that he's on the Texans team. Is
Yeah,
the big
exactly.
headline.
Exactly.
No interceptions, pretty decent yardage for a rookie. Completion percentage pretty good. And obviously Tank Dell looks to be a fucking stud. So
Yeah.
go ahead, whatever you're gonna say.
No, I guess just picking up with that. Tank Dell, he looks like an Amon-Ra St. Brown, same game. And then
Yep.
CJ, I knew it would come out before the season started. I thought he would start off slow actually, and then like the
Yeah.
last 8 weeks we'd be like, ooh, we got some here. I
Yeah.
didn't think, he'd have the numbers he has now. Richardson, they're winning without him playing, and
Well,
then Bryce Young, we'll see.
Gardner Minshew's actually a really comparable backup quarterback, so I do give that credit.
Yeah,
I like Gardner Minshew. I don't like him as a full-time quarterback by any means. He's basically like Case Keenum was for the Vikings. But I still have faith in him. I still have faith. He needs to chill out on the concussions and in the running a little bit.
yeah.
If he can do that, I feel like he'll be really good. I don't know if he's going to be C.J. Stroud's level this year, but we'll see.
So yeah, just to break it down quick for redraft and dynasty, Tank Dell, CJ Stroud, definitely Tank Dell for redraft leagues. If he is still sitting on the waiver wire for some reason, pick him up. Should have already. Dynasty, maybe dynasty, definitely not selling him if you drafted him. If you could maybe get him for cheap once he has a bad week, I think that's when I'm waiting to try and buy him. But like right now, like I'll just say, like I kind of hinted at it the other day with someone in one of the leagues. I got offered a first.
Really?
that manager can keep his first, because all I'm gonna do is draft a receiver and hope that he scores like Dell. So, no.
Well,
get out of here.
Somebody offering me a first for him as well, and that's easy. No, especially when it's the latest first possible at this point.
Yeah.
You.
So.
You sent me.
Yeah. Or no, that was for Quinn Johnson.
Oh, it was for Quinn Johnson.
Yeah,
that's right.
Let's talk about him next year. So, all the memes talking about going after Jordan or Joshua Palmer, not Jordan Palmer, that's a quarterback. Joshua Palmer, it kind of bugs me because I see Quinn Johnson, like the simple things down, playing more like Big Mike, who's obviously gone the rest of the season. If you have him on your squad in redraft, just drop him. He's done, torn ACL.
Yep.
I see him playing more of that role, and Joshua Palmer, he'll still be in the slot, still scoring some points, but I see the big uptick with Quinn Johnson. I picked him up in everything. Even tried to trade a late first for him.
A very, very late first.
Well, if this guy keeps winning. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely of the two who I would prefer to pick up, because I don't.
Right.
Joshua Palmer, when they were hurt last year, was okay, but he wasn't like 20 points a week, maybe more than once. Where Quinn Johnson, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. Now, we talked about this before. Quinn Johnson, you turned me on to him, right? He was kind of off my radar for the most part for most of the off season. Then I started looking at the highlights and whatnot, and he's got something, right?
Yeah.
Now it's his rookie year, so I'm right there with you. Dynasty wise, grab him, whatever.
Yeah.
Does it worry you though, the amount of drops that he's been having though? Because it does worry me a little bit. And when I saw your trade, I did hesitate just a little bit because the drops do
Hey,
worry
it's
me.
still available for you. Just that first is still there for you.
I'm just gonna draft another wide receiver, but but when you're looking at it, even though you have to take the breath and be like, all right, he is a rookie. He's going to make the mistakes. It's only been 3 weeks. He's had a good chunk of drops. Does that worry you?
Right. So these reporters are always writing, oh, he's having a lot of drops or whatever in practice. It reminds me of Jamar Chase's rookie season. We saw it in the preseason, and then I believe even the first game. And then in practice, people said he was dropping the ball a lot. And, look at where he is now and even later that year. So, I if you want someone that can score you 20 points or has a chance to get that high, you want Quinn Johnson, period. No one else in free agency is going to do that for you.
Right. No, 100%. 100%. And if, like what you were saying before, if Tank Dell is on a waiver still and nobody's picked him up, or even you haven't picked him up, you guys obviously aren't paying attention to fantasy football too well. That's somebody who probably should have been picked up after week 1 at the latest. I would assume, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not to call anyone out on Discord, but some of the questions, some of the things you see, are just like who's in free agency in some of these people's leagues is just crazy. It's like, does anyone even care? But anyways.
Yeah, there's a couple of our leagues where it's like I am hurting in a couple of positions. I go and look at that positions as like third stringers. It's like, come on.
yeah, because we play 12 teams, deeper formats, right? It's a whole new thing than the regular redrafts. All right. That was the next thing. Joshua Palmer, Quinn Johnson, the Dolphins backs.
So I was going to initially start off with just the Dolphins in general, right? I wanted to first hit this off because our buddy Jackson is a Broncos fan, and the Dolphins head coach, just want to throw this out there because the memes everywhere. What's his name? I can't think of it.
Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, because he was the ball boy for the Broncos, and all he wanted to do was be the Broncos head coach, and the Broncos wouldn't even take the interview, so he went to the Dolphins, and it was a personal thing that he demolished them that way, and I thought it was great. And we'll talk about the Broncos, but the Dolphins in general, right? You're going to talk about the running backs, and I actually want to hear what your thoughts are. Are they worth keeping? Should you sell them because they had that crazy game, so everybody wants them? What are your thoughts there? Because I'm kind of back and forth on it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards selling. There are a lot of people on Discord asking, hey, should my top waiver be Devon Achane? Yes, because you probably need a running back. That's like a no-brainer to me. But, like, Raheem Mostert, like, at 31 years old, he's kind of a sell to me, dynasty or redraft, because I don't know. You just don't really know. Of course, you got to, get something you need in return. If you got a loaded team, might as well just ride it out. Not a great answer. Also, too, with the Broncos-Dolphins game, watching the highlights, to me, the Broncos on defense, they just didn't really look like they cared. I feel like it wasn't an X's and O's and Mike McDaniels just calling all these perfect plays. To me, it was just effort. It didn't look like they were giving 100%. I don't know. Was it like 100 degrees down there? Was the humidity high or something, and that was kind of affecting them? I don't know. I'd have to go back and check, but it was a lack of effort.
It did kind of feel like watching it on Red Zone that as soon as Tyreek Hill got that touchdown in like the first 2 minutes, they were done. They barely even went back to the game. They just showed the touchdowns because it was just touchdown after touchdown, and they quit. They just quit.
Yeah.
So, Obviously, I'm a big Tua fan. Even though I got rid of him last year because he scared the shit out of me with the concussion. Um,
Still a little scary.
yeah, it's still
You know.
scary. But I'm kind of with you. I feel like I would have been that guy. I would have had Mostert or AJ. They would have been on my bench, 100%.
Hmm.
Going into this week, I would have played them, and that's one of those times where I would have been. Thank God for best ball because I never would have thought to play them.
Yeah.
And I would have looked like the biggest idiot in the world benching them. But I just would have. There's just not people that I would have played unless I absolutely had to, or if my main running backs run a bye.
Yeah.
Um,
And like I was saying with Discord, a lot of redraft leagues, Devon Achane was just on the waiver wire.
yeah,
So not even sitting on a bench, just on the waiver wire. He's so far down.
right.
So
So,
yeah,
absolutely, I would be selling him, and then just get whatever you need because he's gonna be the hot commodity. So
yeah.
get whatever
And,
you need that you can trust back.
and then also Jeff Wilson gets back in a week or week 4. This is his last week at IR. There was
Mhm.
reports already that he's basically back to 100%.
Oh,
So that's the thing too. They don't play the Broncos every week. They don't play a
yeah,
team that just doesn't care. So yeah, I'm not crazy about them.
right.
We'll see.
No, I hear you. I know we're going to get to the Bengals next, but I wanted to kind of talk to you about the Broncos too, kind of in that same
Yeah.
boat with Sean Payton. To start off the year, he bashed the Jets. We talked about this on the players only. That Nathaniel Hackett was the worst coaching he's ever seen, and then
Hmm.
the Broncos are starting awful. Uh, Russell Wilson, I don't think is doing that bad for the most part. I
All
mean,
right.
he's doing kind of what he can. The defense is awful. Where are you at with the other players though, like Portland Sutton and Jerry Judy? Um, I can't
Well,
even think of their running back right now.
so Jerry Judy is a buy to me because injured the first week, 5 points the second week, and like 13 this
Yep,
week. So he's definitely a buy. Cortland Sutton, he's wide receiver 20 right now in standard scoring, so he's a sell.
yep,
Even though you still got to have like spare receivers.
right.
Um, that being said, too, talking about their defense, anytime I see someone playing the Broncos, that's a start for me. It was just
Yep,
like the Saints, Packers, Lions back in the day. It was like if you had a guy running back, receiver, tight end going against them, boom, you're starting them
yeah,
because those are always bad defenses. Right now, that's the Broncos because
hmm,
again, I see a lack of effort there. So um,
yep. As far
Russ,
as like, yeah,
Russ, I like at least as a backup, just like
yep.
Kirk. Bad defense, gonna be thrown a lot. That's why I'm playing him this week against the Bears, and the
Right.
Bears are a bad defense. So
Yep.
yeah, you have
Uh,
fun with that.
sp- yeah, speaking of Kirk, because like with the Vikings, bad defense, right? DeAndre Swift ran all over him. Keelan Allen and Mike Williams had the game of their career, even
Yep.
with Mike Williams getting hurt. Still, game of their careers, basically against them. I'm somebody. If you have Adam Thielen on your bench, is kind of like one of those potential flex spots. After the
Yep.
last 2 weeks that Adam Thielen has had, start him. Start him next because it sounds like Andy Dalton is also going to start. That means he's going to throw it because he's a stand still and don't move quarterback. He's going to throw to fucking Adam Thielen almost every single play. So just like he did this past week. So
Hmm.
throw that out there. Adam Thielen is 100% start this week. I think it was 21 points 2 weeks ago, 31 last week. He had monster numbers we never saw last year out of him. So
Yeah.
uh,
I wanna say one thing. So
yeah,
yeah, I remember even when Thielen was on the Vikings a couple of years ago.
hmm,
You were trying to trade him to Jackson. Good. Like, and part of the reasoning you use that I started thinking about and liked was like, if you're a receiver or quarterback on a bad or with a team with a bad defense and you know they're going to be behind, that's a good reason to take a guy. And
Yeah.
when I'm choosing my like starts and sits nowadays, I'm doing it like, okay, I think Russ is going to be behind, so I like him.
Right.
I think Dak is going to be ahead because of his defense, so they're going to be running the ball a lot. Where, like, I was saying back in the day, 2015, 2016, oh, that person's playing the Saints. Oh, that defense sucks. The Lions, Packers, you know.
Right.
It like off season, that'd be a good topic. I feel like for start who I start, because
Yeah.
it's changed over the years. Is my point.
So let me ask you this question with that kind of line of thinking, because I know we're probably going to talk about this a lot in the off season, especially around draft time. I think no matter what this off season, the Chiefs are going to try to get some kind of big time wide receiver. They have to. Travis Kelce's getting too old. Sky Moore is not the answer, even though they keep trying. And everybody else as the wide receivers just is not the answer. It's no Tyreek Hill. If they go out and get somebody like a Jordan Addison, knowing that they're almost always going to be up, right? Because it's Patrick Mahomes. What are your thoughts on that, right? Because JJ for me is always a take because Vikings, as much as we love them, they're always behind or they're always in a close game, right? Jamar Chase is kind of one of those. It's kind of the 50-50s because Joe Burrow is usually good. They're usually somewhat above, so it's kind of a hard one, right? What do you think if Patrick Mahomes has a Jordan Addison? Where are you at on that?
Oh yeah, then I definitely want to draft him or get him on my team. If it's a receiver I believe in and they're going to Kansas City, yeah, definitely. And yeah, Rice is I guess looked okay, but there's a lot of other better receivers, and they do got to get someone in there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like that's kind of one of those pieces though that you can use as all right. These people are gonna always go after them, so I can get somebody like JJ or whatever a lot easier, and then you get the more guaranteed points rather than Patrick Mahomes. They're already up by 30 in the first quarter, so he's not gonna get me any more points, and he has 15 rather than almost a guaranteed 20. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of one of those interesting gambles for the most part. But kind of getting back into things, let's talk about the Bengals. Look, Joe Burrow, he got hurt during training camp, like right at the beginning. Right, he did this the last year, and I think even the year before that. He gets hurt in training camp for whatever reason. By now, he's usually back to being Joe Burrow, the one everybody knows, right? He had a really bad rookie year, but otherwise, he's always, well, for the most part, been really good. He's awful. I feel like this is worse than his rookie year bad. Jamar Chase is, he got me good points this past week, but otherwise, I'm getting 2 points out of him. Tyler Boyd, not doing much. T. Higgins, I think, has been kind of middle of the road. I don't have it right here in front of me, but I think he's been right in the middle of the road for the most part, about 10 to 15-ish points a week. Joe Mixon isn't even really doing a whole lot. I mean, Joe Mixon was dominant last year besides when he got hurt. He's doing nothing. As far as where you're at, because I know where I'm at on it, I'm almost to blow it up and just sell even Jamar Chase. Where are you at on the Bengals right now?
So Burrow's not 100% healthy. Do I really want to buy him right now? No. The receivers, yeah, if I can get them cheap and I need one bad, yeah, I'm still interested. Mixon, yeah, I'd have to need a running back bad. I still think he'll be all right though.
Yeah.
One of the stats I liked, it was like he was the only ball carrier that or the only running back for the Bengals that got a touch. So like the backup got some snaps, but didn't have any rushes or carries or receptions. So I buy, sell, hold. I'd be at a hold on all of them.
Yeah. So think of this before the season starts. Now, I'm gonna ask you this in twofold, right? So before Burrow really was 100% came back, knowing that he was hurt and whatever. If I offered you and you had JJ, I said, hey, I'll give you Jamar Chase and 2024 third. Are you taking that, or are you gonna hold off?
For Justin Jefferson?
Yep, you have Justin Jefferson. I have Jamar Chase. So I'm offering you Jamar Chase and a 2024 third. And think of it this way too: with the draft, it's not just rookies; it's also waiver wire. So if somebody's stupid and drops all their players or whatever right away, then you have access to them too.
So yeah, I take that trade.
Okay. What about now?
Am I competing?
No.
If I'm competing, I'm holding. I don't need the third that bad.
You're middle of the road.
Holding.
Okay. I did offer that a week ago, and I was told basically to fuck off. I asked. But I was like, hey, before the season starts, you would have taken it, right? And he's like, nope. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's
like long term. I still like Jamar a little bit more than JJ just because of he's playing with Burrow. Kirk, we don't know. I feel like I'm the only one that thinks Kirk's gonna be here next year. Apparently, everyone thinks he's gone. Anytime I see a TikTok where it starts off Kirk to the Jets, I immediately swipe. I'm sick of hearing that. Never going to happen. No. It's just your scenario of them drafting one of the top two quarterbacks next year is a lot more likely than them trading away a first for Kirk. No, get out of here.
I could definitely see the Jets tanking no matter what. Now, I don't think Kirk is going to the Jets. I think this is the one of the stupidest takes I've heard in the last week, 2 weeks of football. I don't think Kirk is going to be on the Vikings next year. As much as I love Kirk, you know how much I love Kirk and how much I defend him everywhere, especially against Jackson. I don't think KOC or Kwesi believe in Kirk like we do, which is stupid with what they have right in front of them. I don't think they will keep him past this year, unfortunately. And I hate to say that. And I feel like Kwesi is going to try to do something and go all the way up to draft one of those two quarterbacks, or if there's another one on a fringe. But the thing about it is Kwesi's drafts has not been good at all. Besides Addison, that's about it. Lewisine hasn't played a snap all of this year. And I forgot who else hasn't played a snap, and those were his top two picks. Ed Ingram is awful. But I know that's not fantasy football-wise. This is me as a Vikings fan getting pissed off, even though I like Kwesi. I like everything he says for the most part. But it doesn't seem like he's doing his job right. But, whatever.
Yep. Otherwise, another person asked about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's just kind of like week one. He's a hold to me. Or if you can buy him cheap. Still moves quick. Just not getting the touches. Still looks good.
He looks great.
I feel like Detroit is like really afraid to run him into the ground.
That's the problem.
And I guess that's just kind of the world we live in now, where if you are a stud running back, the backup's going to play, just keep wear and tear off you. So,
yeah. So that's the thing that's bothering me with Gibbs. I feel like the things that we've seen out of Gibbs, he could be just as good as Bijan. He could be almost as dominant as Bijan from the little bit that we've seen. That's the problem. We've seen so little of Gibbs because they're so afraid to run him. Even when their main running back is hurt, it's like, just give him the fucking ball.
Yeah.
He's shown you what he can do in just the limited snaps he's had. As somebody who went all out, not for Bijan, because I thought Bijan was going to get hurt this year because I knew Atlanta was just going to use him like crazy.
mm-hmm.
I went for Gibbs because I'm like, all right, he's got a better team around him. Even if they really run him, he's less likely to get hurt because he's got Amon-Ra and everybody else around him. So, for me, I'm one of those frustrated Gibbs owners for sure, but you got to hold on to him. You got to wait, especially if you're in Dynasty, especially. You got to wait, unfortunately.
I'm pulling up his numbers right now because I want to check here too. So Atlanta, okay, he played 60% of the snaps, but again, that was with David Montgomery out, 17 carries, but only 2 targets. So they threw to him less, but gave him more carries. But part of that was, I'm sure, because they were ahead that whole game.
And I think a lot of it was killing the clock. So it's more like, hey, just, 50%, 75%,
Yeah. I mean, he's redraft and Dynasty. He's still a buy to me. If you have him on your team, he's a hold. Because his numbers aren't going to go down. I'll put it that way. I don't see a scenario where he plays less unless he gets hurt. So yeah,
I 100% agree with you. Dynasty wise, redraft. I'd give it this week against the Packers, and unless you see something incredible, sell them to somebody who does see something incredible, because you could probably get a really, really good running back in return, and maybe a little something extra potentially. If you can finagle some kind of trade, you could probably get something really good. That's kind of where I'm at for redraft, but Dynasty, hold.
Yeah. Because Detroit's not going to randomly draft or trade or get some better running back in there. So that's why I don't think his production's ever going to go down than where it's at now, 9, 10 points a game. So
where was Jamal Williams last year as far as running backs go? I can't remember. Was he decent?
Yeah. Because he broke Barry Sanders' record in rushing touchdowns. I'm going to pull him up here.
So that is my main worry, is if they feel like they can just go. Because I feel like he's still pretty young. Maybe it was just at the very end of his rookie contract, and that's why they got rid of him. But if they feel like they could just go out and draft a stud running back every year or something like that, that's something to kind of worry about. Because then you don't get to choose where he goes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
he finished running back 13 in PPR, 8 in half PPR. A lot of, they ran him inside the 10.
Yeah.
So
where
and then
are you
Swift
at?
was hurt for a stretch. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot Swift was there. But where are you at with that thinking though? With I don't know where he was contract wise, but they kind of just gave him away to the Saints. Do you think that could be a possibility again if Gibbs shows up and they're like, hey, we can just go keep drafting rookies, because I think more or less you and I have the same kind of mindset. You'd rather have that younger running back wise anyway, and once they get a little bit older, they're more prone to get hurt and so on. You think they'll just give him away once he gets a little bit older and go draft another one in a year or two?
Oops. Potentially, or like when his contract is coming up, just let him go. I don't think yeah, it's going to be years of we're just
yeah,
not going to see running back deals for years now.
for sure.
I'm trying to think. I was going to say something else too about Jahmyr Gibbs. The guy people are going to start comparing him to if he keeps playing like this and not scoring a lot of touchdowns is Reggie Bush, who was really talented in college, won a Heisman, and then I think he got taken away because he was like getting paid when he wasn't supposed to or something. Yeah, people are gonna start making that comparison, but I actually think Jahmyr Gibbs will be the better pro. They just gotta give him the ball more. So,
Right.
Otherwise, yeah, I think that was all the real big buy sell holds right now. I'm sure this will be another crazy week.
Yep. As far as like team matchups, I don't know how much you've dug into it, and we could run through them if you want. Which team matchups are you more not necessarily excited for to watch as a fan, but if you see this matchup, I'm playing those players no matter what. Obviously, whoever's facing the Broncos, you're playing.
Broncos, Bears, our Vikings.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I mean, Jacksonville kind of got carved up.
Yeah.
But yeah, teams like that. Or again, just will you be behind? All right. And I will play you.
That's right.
I do have one trade I can give you here. So regular redraft 10-man league.
Okay.
This guy, you are a manager of an 0-3 team.
Oof.
You're trying to get Jonathan Taylor, and you're giving up Javonte Williams and Zay Flowers. You're good at you're good at receiver though. Like you got Hollywood, Devontae Smith, Tyreek Hill. I can't remember the guy's whole team, but he's fine at receiver.
Okay.
Me, he's worried. What if JT holds out though? Me again. Zay Flowers replaceable. Javonte Williams gonna be behind a lot with the Broncos D. So I don't know how many. Like right now, he's like scoring like 7 or 8 points a game. It's nothing too spectacular. For me, I'm doing it because I need to win. And Javonte, I'd rather lose take my chances with Jonathan Taylor, basically.
Oh, I think this is a double-edged sword here because if I am trying to get JT, I'm taking that deal, right? The Javonte Williams, all right, fine, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Zay, I like Zay more than you do. But if I'm already good, wide receiver wise, you can give up because you're gonna have to give up somebody to get the star, right? At the end of the day. There is the little bit of the worry of JT just holding out, even though apparently he was at the Chiefs game. So that's kind of interesting.
Hey. I think his stock goes up, like I said, if he gets traded. And I'm still not ruling out a trade to the Dolphins. So,
yeah.
But the percentage that happens in my head has kind of gone down after this last weekend. But, yeah.
Especially if Jeff Wilson is basically at 100%. I mean, it doesn't make sense for the Dolphins to make the move, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make the move, right? However, if I'm the JT owner, not knowing what their team is looking like, if they need the wide receiver, maybe, I'm not doing it. I want to hold out and see what happens with JT, right? Yeah. I need to be a part of that drama. I need to know, hey, if he's going to the Chiefs, absolutely not. He's on my team. He's never coming off my team.
Yeah.
I have him in Dynasty for that reason, right? If he goes to a team like that, he's never leaving. It doesn't matter what anybody offers me until he hits close to 28-30. He's never leaving my team. But if he stays where he's at and he just throws fits, then I'm more likely to trade him for that, especially if I do need the wide receiver, because I do like Zay. Yeah. Like I said, probably a little more than you do, but that's a really hard one just because of the JT situation. If he was guaranteed to play on Sunday for the Colts, I would say as the JT owner, I'm not taking it. I got to see what he's going to do first.
Because, what am I going to do with Javonte and Zay? But, again, maybe this owner must need Zay Flower or a wide receiver in general. So, yeah. Kind of coin toss. I said in the chat, smash. I was like, I didn't even need to think twice. But anyways, I think that'll wrap things up, getting you ready for week 4. And, again, if you got more questions, more players you want us to discuss, let me know on Discord. I check it constantly. And, have a good one.